So I wrote about this the other day, but I'm going to get your take on it. So do you think other UFC fighters, people like Daniel Cormier, I saw Colby Covington, is that his name?
Kobe Covington.
Covington, and a few other people. I know Chris Cyborg has been trying to get into the, not WWE, but pro wrestling on the whole for a while now. Do you think any of these people see what happened with Cain in WWE? I know he was a different case because, like you said, he was hurt. His stock really hasn't been as... I mean, the Brock match happened literally 10 years ago when Cain beat Brock for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. It's not like they just had their fight. Like, it's not like it's Mark Hunt. You know what I mean? Like, they just had their fight and whatever. It's been a long time. So I kind of get it. But at the same time, though, do you think UFC fighters who are aspiring to join the pro wrestling business see this and think to themselves, oh, this may not be for me? This may not be for me after seeing what they did to Cain?
I guess it depends on the person. I mean, I would say for Daniel Cormier, he's kind of more of like, I would say if he comes in WWE, probably more of a commentator. He's kind of switched that role in the UFC. He's still fighting, but most of the shows if he's on the show, it's because he's like doing ringside commentary. So I think if he came to WWE, he'd be more strictly of a commentary guy. Colby Covington, I mean, he's kind of like, I would say he has more star power at this point than Cain does. He's kind of like trash talker and kind of gets his name in the media just for saying really dumb stuff. So I mean, I could see him maybe bringing some eyes to WWE, but I wouldn't say it's worth the investment for them. I would say bring Cormier if they could for commentary reasons. But Covington, I'd just be like, just worry about who you have now. He's not going to bring enough eyes to the company that's worth kind of the investment.
I mean, this has been a debate for a while now, and I'm going back years here. Do you think Conor McGregor is still a good fit for WWE, and do you think we might see him in the WWE ring at some point down the road?
I mean, at some point, maybe. At this point, his stock's been as low as when he debuted in the UFC. He hasn't really done anything of note lately. I mean, he did come back a couple months ago and won a fight, but I mean, his stock when he was like megastar, like Ronda Rousey star level, I mean, that was probably a year or two ago, and he's kind of cooled off since losing a couple fights. So, I mean, it's possible, but I feel like they missed the peak with him. At least Rousey was still somewhat notable. She was coming off a loss, but she still was like kind of the aura of Ronda Rousey. At this point, McGregor's kind of fallen off from his peak, which was, like I said, probably a year or two ago.
So he came back a few months ago, won his fight. What's the future for Conor McGregor? I know this isn't wrestling related, but what's going on with him? I know the whole pandemic thing obviously shut down UFC shows, but what's going on with Conor McGregor?
At this point, I mean, I would say, depending on what the company wants to do with him, I guess they could push him back into a title picture, because I mean, he's a bit, for them, it's more based on how much money you can make than actually like winning wise. Like wins and losses wise, he'd probably be second or third person in line for a title shot. But since he's McGregor and makes them a ton of money, I could see them pushing him up a little bit. But currently, the next show they're supposed to have, I believe it's next week. They're actually announced it's going to be a show next weekend. No fans and such. They're doing like an interim lightweight championship, and that's the weight class that he's in. So I'm assuming the winner of that would then face the champion, he's Russian, so he lives in Russia, so he can't fight right now because of the travel ban. So I'm assuming whoever wins that would then face the champion. So then it kind of leave McGregor maybe faces the winner of that, or maybe faces someone else just in the interim. But at this point, who really knows since the pandemic? But I would say he's probably a fight or two away from defending to go for a championship fight at this point.